module list component that's expecting in the properties an array of modules, right, in its properties. And we have this state variable inside that is being produced by our finite state machine, right, that is being provided and is being injected into all the components, right? So we need a way here for the somehow be able to map. Somehow we need to be able to map a map saying that, hey, this module's property, right? We need to be able to grab it from the state variable that also has a modules variable in there. Yes, it has a state variable called modules as part of the state. We need to grab that and map it into the modules property here. Well, it just so happened that Redux has that capability. The way it's done to be able to implement this is that you wrap your map around with a function called property, Stage2 PropertyMapper. You can call it whatever you want, but this is a very common name. Stage2 PropertyMapper, right? That is going to take as argument, somehow magically, is going to be past the state, all right? And then from the state, you're going to be able to grab what you need. Right? You'll be able to grab what you need. In particular, we want to grab the modules in that state and then map it to the property modules. And so we call it, appropriately, we call it the Stage2 PropertyMapper. You can call it whatever you want, but that's a common name. Right? So this is a function that is going to return this. Is going to return this. Right? Return this map. Everybody okay? So, all right, so we have the mapper. So how do we connect, how do we pass it to the module list component? How do we pass it somehow? We need to do this mapping and then pass the property, the modules property, onto this. So the way we do that is to use a Redux function called Connect. Right? Connect. And Connect is going to take the module list component as an argument, and then first it's going to do the mapping. And the result of that mapping is going to be the properties that is going to pass it to the module list component. Right? So first Connect, we need to load that. That's from the React Redux. There it is. Right? Once we have that, we can pass the mapper. Yes.
Your IDE just did that. What were you actually doing?
Go
to the top, I assume we now have.
Yeah, we have that. Yeah, it imports it. So it gives you a whole bunch of.
I don't use an IDE, so I just.
Yeah. It looks for all the libraries and see where it finds it, and then it suggests. Yep. So there it is. So what it does, this connect goes to your finite state machine and says, "Hey, finite state machine, what's the current state?" So the finite state machine calls this function that you pass it as a callback, and it says, "Well, here's the state. Here's the latest state." Right? And then the connect, what it does is that it uses whatever this returns to map and retrieve the value, and then it's going to call your component passing the correct properties that you need. Yes? From React Redux. It's the glue library between React and Redux. Yep. All right, having done that, presumably now modules has been injected with whatever the state modules is, right? If we go back, right, notice that module 1, 2, and 3 are there, right? That are coming from the state, right? If I just to prove that this is actually working, right, we can modify this to be instead of 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, and 4, 5, 6. So save that, right? Notice that it is updating, right? So it is calling that function. The function is generating the state, and the state is then trickling down through the mapper, and then the mapper extracts the only thing that you want, and then calls your component, passing it the property that it wants. Make sense? Everybody okay? Right? All right.